Hold.
हाँ ठीक है.
Hey everyone. Yes, I see we are live here now. Yep. Hi everyone. Good evening. I hope you all are doing good. Yes. How many people are online right now? Mahesh, if you can tell. Or we should wait for 1-2 minutes just to if people are joining, more people are joining. And let's see how it goes. Let me see. I mean, yeah, Pushpak is here. Hi. Neelam. Hi, Kishore. Hi. Okay. Exciting for the talk. Buffering. Yeah, I see a good sense of here as well. Thanks for the excitement. Yeah. Okay. So we have here today Bhushan Gaikwad, who will be speaking on Russian doll cache. Okay. To be honest, I haven't heard for this before this meet. So a question for everyone here: who knew about Russian doll cache before this session? Actually, I didn't knew. So if you can just type in yes, no, or something, it would be great. Today, even I will be learning about Russian doll cache for the first time, so I am excited. Yep, there will be some lag to YouTube this broadcast, so response might take a while. I'm audible, right, Bhushan? You can confirm.
Yes. I can hear you. I'm
No.
just putting my mobiles on silent for safe side.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So no problem. Yeah. So we have Bhushan Gaikwad here. Let's get started. Actually, and so so let me give a brief about Bhushan. So he has total experience in Laravel around 4-5 years. Currently, he's working with Eastern Enterprise as a module lead. Okay, and let now since Bhushan is here, let him give a more brief about what he's actually doing, where he is working, how he got the job, etc., etc. So good, Bhushan, there you go.
Okay,
Yep.
so initially I was running my own startup, and at that time I liked to help people. So from the Netherlands, there was one person, my friend, who when I needed at that time he approached this company, and this company then approached me, and this is how I got the job. And due to Corona, I'm working as remotely. So I'm currently working remotely. So yeah, so I'm working from home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you like to speak of your journey as a Laravel developer? How did you come to know about Laravel and stuff?
Okay, so actually, when I started at that time, I was a Java developer. So when I started the company at that time, I had one web application, and that client asked me to develop a program on Laravel. And at that time, I hired some people, but those people left that company at that time, and eventually I had to work on that. So I figured out PHP in 3 days, and on the next 3 days, I learned Laravel. So Laravel learning curve was quite easy. So yeah, I learned that as well, and that project was quite small at that time, but it was big for me, and I completed that. And from that moment, I started learning Laravel, and yes, so I'm here. And recently, I got certification as well for the Laravel.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to
Yeah,
come. I have seen your Twitter post. Yeah, so congratulations on that,
yeah,
guys. He
thank
is
you.
now a official Laravel certified developer. So
Mm.
congratulations on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
thank you.
think, yeah, we can start with the session then.
Okay,
Yep.
so
You can set up your system however you like. This screen
okay,
share and stuff. Yeah, you can start doing that.
okay. So I'll just share my screen.
Yeah.
Uh, can you see it?
Yep.
Is it
Good.
visible?
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
it's
okay.
visible. Yeah. So one more thing, guys. Tech Q&A session will be at the end of this session. How much minute in the end? Question.
Yeah, 10-15 minutes maybe. Less.
10-15 minutes, right? Yeah. Okay, so we'll be highlighting questions, and you guys will be able to understand what the question is about and stuff. Yeah, go ahead, Bhushan. All the best. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So, hello guys. So, I'll take your 1 minute to introduce about myself, and after that, I'll be moving to the topic. So, I am Bhushan Gaikwad, and I was working for I was running a startup called Inlight Technologies from past 3 years. Initially, it was a service-based company. So after that, I created some product out of that, and those products are available on Code Canyon. You can easily search it as Inlight-Tech, and you will get all those products. Then I do have a podcast, Inlight Snippets. So it is available on all the major platforms. So it is mostly about developer life. So yeah, if you are a developer, so I think you will like it. And for Indian people, I'm also uploading this podcast on YouTube as well, so you can check out my channel as well. And finally, Eastern Enterprise. This is the company I work for. So right now I'm working as a module lead there. It's a Netherlands based company, and if anybody who is a Laravel or Vue.js developer and he's looking for any opportunity, so he or she can contact me after this talk. Okay, so let's begin the story. So, uh, sometime back, I was searching on the internet, and at that time, I read one thing: if you're not caching, then you are missing out. So I felt that if I'm not using caching, then what I'm missing? Can anybody tell me that what I'm missing? Okay.
Speed.
Speed, yes, exactly. So if we are not caching, so that means our websites or our applications will be much slower, because for each request we will be computing, we will be processing all the data, all the computation again and again. So I think this is not the optimum way. So I then the next question arises in my mind that what things I can cache. So of course there are many things I can cache, but in this today's talk I want to focus on views only. So I googled like how I can cache views, and I quickly understood that fragment caching I can do. But and also the fragment caching is also known as Russian doll caching. So what is Russian doll? So Russian doll is kind of like this. So there you have a doll, and inside that you will have a same kind of doll, but that will be much smaller, and then again the smaller doll, again the smaller doll, again the smaller doll. It will be like that. And how, so the question is how we can use this pattern to optimize our views. So I have one screen, one image of Basecamp, and I hope DHH doesn't mind that. So I used his website image. So I'll use pointer to show you things. If you see, this is the orange fragment, and this is the green fragment, this is the red, and this is the blue. So all these fragments are cached by step, and each cache has a key. This is the key, this is the key, this is the key, and this is the key. So let's suppose if I update only this to do item, so this key will change. This key will not exist in the cache. So so we will render it again, and we will only process this part, and we will only change this part. That is the basic core of Russian doll caching, I will say. So how we can use this Russian doll caching in Laravel? So let me show you that. So I'll just quickly go to PHP Storm, and for caching we need something, right? So I'll just open the tinker.txt file I have created. This is the empty file. So we need something to cache, right? So let's adopt an idea of card and nodes. So card and a single card can have multiple nodes. So this will be one to many relationship, right? And for the sake of simplicity, what we can do is card will have a title, and then node will have a body. And to represent the relationship, we need some card ID, right? Some of the foreign key, we need it. So that will be card ID. To just to save the time, I have created some scaffolding, and I will quickly explain you that. So if I undo the changes of this file, so if I go to create card, this is the migration. In that migration, I have title. In the create note, I have foreign key for the card ID, and then the body in the card.php, I have nodes relationship. So one card can have many nodes, right? And in the nodes, we have that node belongs to this card, right? And then I'll go to web.php. So I have created one route called cards, and this cards route will simply delegate to cards controller in the index method. So I'll go to card controller. There I have there I'm just simply getting all the cards, and then I'm just sending it to the cards.index view. So if I go to cards/index, so you can ignore this styling and CSS part. So this is the main code. I'm looping through all the cards, and I have created one partial called cards. So this is the partial, and there I'm simply echoing card title, and then I'm fetching all the card nodes, and for each node I'm just echoing it into the li list item. So this is the pretty much scaffolding, right? So we need to cache it, right? So and we believe that we want to cache it in this fragment way. So if you see here, that single to do item represents a model, right? So we need to cache models. So let's imagine we have a directive. So let's suppose I have cache directive, and there I will simply pass the note, and then I will simply end the cache, right? And I can simply do the same thing for the card. So I'll have a card, and I'll have end cache, right? If I simply and also I'm using Valley here. So what I can do is I can go to Laravel Live Mumbai Meetup meetup.test/cards. So if I go to there, so this is what I get. Right now, these caches are echoing directly. So Laravel doesn't know about this directive because we didn't created it, right? So what I can do is I can go to app service provider, and in the boot method, this is the right place to create our blade directives. So what I will do is I will create a blade directive called cache, and the second parameter will be a closure where I simply return an PHP statement. So if I echo hello world, right? And if I refresh, now you will not see any changes. So if I refresh, you don't see any changes. So there is one thing. So whenever you create a blade directives, so you need to clear your caches, your views. So PHP artisan view clear. And now if I refresh, so as you see, we have hello world. Right now we can do the same thing for the end cache as well. So if I do end cache, and I will say goodbye world, and I will again clear the caches, and if I refresh, so as you see, hello world, goodbye world, goodbye world. So this is your 101 to blade directives, how you can use it. But now we want to use it for caching, right? So if I were to use it for the caching, so let's imagine our workflow. So if I go to cards cards partial, and let's imagine we are requesting for the first time. So in this position, what I need to check is if this model is cached or not. So this will be simply like if not model has been cached, right? And if this is false, this is true, then only I will proceed, and I will start the output buffering. So I will not echo it immediately. I will just get the HTML, rendered HTML, and at this point I will get that HTML, I will put it into the cache, and I will simply return it. So this is what we want, right? So what I can do is, in a more procedural way, I'll go to service provider, app service provider, and I will simply change it to normal PHP tags. And this I want, this will be if condition, right? And where I want to check if that model is not cached. So what if I create one class called Russian cache, and I want I can create methods there directly without the static, but I feel that I don't want to create 500 objects just to cache. So what I can do is I can create a singleton. So what I will do is I will create a static method called start, for example, and I will check, and in the end cache, uh, okay, in the end cache I should end this end if. I know this is kind of funky, but yeah, this is the way I know how we can do it in the Laravel right now. So we have implemented this and if logic. So this if logic. So if I go to card again, cards partial. So I have if condition, and if this condition is false, sorry, true. So I will turn on output buffering. I will cache this HTML, and I will simply return it here, right? So I want to echo it here at the end cache. Echo it here. So I can what I can do is I will go to app service provider, and I want to echo. That means I will simply say echo app slash Russian cache, and then maybe end method. Yeah, I think that will do. Yeah, end method. Yeah, so I have created methods, so I know what will be going uh, when I'm requesting this in this code. So why not create that class? So I'll go to app folder, and there I'll create a simple PHP class called Russian cache, right? And there I will create a static method called start, and I will simply create same method for end, right? So what I want to do in the start, so if I go to app service provider, I want to return a boolean, right? So if that model is cached or not, right? So I need to have access to that model. So what I can do is I can simply create a model. I can get it as a parameter. So if I want to get it as a parameter, so I can receive it in the app service provider in the closure. So that will be model, and in the start method I will just pass that model, and this will be running in the card, right? So here I'm already passing it, right? So this model will be passed from here to app service provider here, and that model will be passed in the start method. So I do have access to Russian cache. I do have access to model. So what I want to return here, I want to return if this model has been cached or not. And with Laravel, that is pretty simple. I can do return cache. I can use facade. Cache has a key, right? But now we need to create some kind of unique key for that single model. And why not adopt an idea of delegating that functionality, that responsibility to model itself. So what I can do is I can get key from the model. So get cache key, right? So from the model, I will get key, and I will check in the cache that if that key exists or not. And here, if you guys remember, so if this model is not cached, so I will turn on output buffering, right? So I will not immediately echo out all the HTML. I will store it into the buffer and then I will echo it. So I need to start that output buffering, and with with vanilla PHP, that is simply easy. So I just need ob start method. So I can use this method. So I've already started the output buffering, and I'm simply returning the if this key uh, is stored in the cache or not, right? So if I go to the cards partial again, so I've started the output buffering, and I'm reaching to this point. And at this point, we thought that we will just echo the HTML, right? So every time we need to return this HTML, whether we are computing it or whether we are fetching it from the cache, we need to echo it here. Okay, so to echo, I'll go to Russian cache class again, Russian class again, and we need to echo HTML, right? So what we can do is we can return that HTML directly here, right? But we need to get that HTML, right? So remember, we have started the output buffering. So to get that HTML, we need ob get clean. With this method, we can get the HTML, and in fact, I'll show you. In fact, I'll show you what it is. So if I go to the page, I will refresh. Uh, I go to the page, PHP artisan cache clear, PHP artisan view clear. So if I refresh now, okay, I didn't created this method yet. So for as of now, I will just simply return it foo here, right? And if I refresh, so this is the result of output buffering. So it has calculated all the things, and it will simply return the HTML. So this is the HTML we are getting. But at this moment, didn't we decided that we need to cache it, and for the next request we will get it from the cache, right? So what we can do is I will simply undo few steps to get the cache key again, and yeah, so I need to return it from the cache, right? So I'll get the cache, and Laravel makes it really easy. So remember, forever function we can use, and we can simply pass the key, and then in the closure, I can simply return that HTML. Okay, and that HTML I'll just simply reformat, and that HTML is not accessible, so I will here use that variable. So it is accessible right now, but there we have a problem that we don't have access to key right now. What we can do is in the cards, like what we are doing here, we can do the same thing. We can pass it like this card, but I don't think so it's a good idea. So yeah, I'll just remove it, and I'll go to Russian cache, and what I will do is I will create a protected static keys, and that will be an array, and I will simply append to that array. So static keys, and then I will simply store it into the array. And whenever I'm in this end method, so I will simply, just to get the key, I will just simply use array pop. So I will get the latest element, latest key from the array. So static dollar keys, and I think that should do it. Yes. So if I refresh this page again, oh, now we are running into the issue that we don't have get cache key, right, for the model. So what we can do is I'll go to the card.php. Here is the model. So here I can have a public function called get cache key, right? And I need to return a key here, right? So let's simply talk about let's talk about first the pattern of the key. So how the key should look like. So what I'm thinking here is, let's suppose if I have app slash card, this will be the class name, and then I will have a slash, and then I will have an ID of the model, and then some kind of updated at timestamp. And this is the essential point of the Russian doll caching. So whenever we update the model, at that time Laravel by default updates the updated add column, and that means this key will be changed, and that way we don't have it in the cache, and then we will re-render it, and we don't need to think about uh, like removing the cache and then recreating it. So it will happen automatically. So this is really crucial part, and this is really important. So yes, if we choose this approach, so then what I can do is I will simply return a printf function, and our format is $s, then slash $s, then hyphen, and then $s, sorry, excuse me, $s. And here to get the class, I can use get class, and I can simply pass this method there. And then to get the ID, I can simply use the model ID. And then to get the updated at timestamp, so I can use updated at. And remember, this is a carbon instance, right? So what I can do is I can get timestamp out of it. I will simply reformat. So I think, yeah, that should do it. So let me show you what I mean. So if I go to PHP artisan tinker, and if I and just to show you, I have populated some of the data here. So these are the 4 cards. This is just the dummy data, and each card will have 2 nodes, 1 2 1 2 1 2, like that. And that I was renting here in previously. So I'll close this out. Okay. So yes, so what I will do is I will get the card, and I will get card first, right? I'll fetch the first card, and if I get the card get cache key, so I get the app models card, and then the ID and the updated at timestamp. And let's suppose if I update the title, updated title, and if I save it, card save, and now if I echo card to just to be safe, I will get this fresh copy. So as you see that the timestamp was this 6:47, and now it is 10:59, and title is updated. So this is what I meant. So if I get the cache key for this model, fresh get cache key, excuse me. So this key is different from this key. And if we are using for redis or memcache for that, so we don't need to think about the removing old caches, because as things fills up, so this redis and memcache will automatically remove all these things, so it will happen automatically for that, for us. So this is the plus point we can say. So right now we do have cache key for the card model, but we want it for multiple models, right? So we want to do it for the nodes as well, and I don't think so we are going to repeat the code. So I think trait is a right option to use. So what I will do is I will create a cacheable trait. I'll simply create a cacheable trait, and let's call it a trait of cacheable, right? And I'll simply return the I'll simply paste the method, and I think I need to add the namespace as well. Namespace app. Yeah. So if I go to the card model card.php, so here I can simply use the cacheable trait like this, and I can use it for nodes as well. Cacheable, cacheable, right? I can use it for that as well. So this actually resolves the get cache key problem, this problem. So if I refresh it, and now if you see that everything is still the same. So when I started this presentation, you saw the same exact thing, and now you're saying the exact same thing again. But actually we are doing few things in the background differently. So right now I'll show you how. So right now, let's suppose if I go to the nodes model and I simply remove this uh, list item, and if I refresh, I'm still getting it, right? Because we are pulling it from the cache. We are not rendering it here. So this is not rendered here. So we are actually pulling it from the cache. And one extra benefit to this approach is we can save the SQL queries as well. So yeah, how I can show it. Okay, so what I can do is I'll go to web.php, and I think this is temporary, so that's fine. I'll just listen for function query, and then I will simply log info of query SQL, right? So what I'm doing here is I'm simply logging all the queries fired for that request. So that will be logged in the laravel.log file. I will simply clear this text, and I will simply just to start it from the scratch, I will remove the view cache. I'll remove the cache as well. So that I can start it from the scratch, and I think they should do it. So if I refresh this page, so as you see, I fired 5 queries, right? And I think this, yeah, that is n+1 problem, and I can solve it like this. So in the card controller, I can use with, yeah, with notes like this. We can eager load the things, but yeah, I don't want to do it right now. So I'll keep it as it is. And for the next request, I want you to notice that if I remove everything, and if I simply refresh it again, so we saw only one SQL query, and that is in fact coming from the controller, card controller, and in fact this query will always fire. So we are saving SQL queries. That is the big. I think that is a side effect which becomes the benefit of using this approach. And right now we are doing there is a live wire framework, right? So we are using the server side partials and many things. So I think this approach will be much helpful. So right now we are caching it, right? But didn't we decided that if this single partial is updated, this model is updated, then it should only this should pull from from the cache. This should be calculated again. So what I can do is to demonstrate that I don't want to log that again. So I'll simply remove it. Okay. So to demonstrate that, okay, so what we can do is I'll go to Tinker again. tinker. I will get a card. That will be the first card. Okay, and I want to change this, right? So this will be the second one. So for the note, I will get card, and then I will load the notes relation, and I will simply get excuse me, will simply get the second item. So that will be the note. So if I update the body, okay, I think you can't see it, so I'll simply move my cursor to the top. So now you can see that if I simply update the body of the node to updated again and again, and if I save it, right? So if I refresh this page, you're not going to see it. Do you know why? Actually, we are missing one essential piece of Russian doll caching. Actually, whenever the request comes, I'll show you. So the request comes here in the cards partial, and we check that if this model is cached or not. So this model is already cached, so we are not even hitting to this point, and that's why it's not rendering this node. So let's suppose if I change this to h1, and let me show you again. So we are not doing anything, right? So it should be h1, but it is not updated. So right now what we want is, whenever this child model is updated, so its parent model should update its timestamp as well, right? So it should touch the parent as well. So what we can do is, in the nodes model, and Laravel makes it really easy, so I can just simply use protected touches property, and here I can pass the relationships. So I'll simply reformat. So what will happen is, whenever this node model is updated, and Laravel by default will update the updated at column of this node model, then it touches the card relationship, and it will update its parent model as well. Let me show you how. So I'll simply exit it, php artisan tinker. I will get the card first, card, and then first, okay, and I want to get the notes of that card, notes second, right? So if I update the note body to something else, and I save it, note save, and if I check the notes model with the fresh copy, so as you see that updated at timestamp is changed here and here, but previously we had card model, and that timestamp was this. So if I simply echo dollar card, and just to be on safe side, I'll get the fresh copy. So this is 11.9, and previously it was 11.6. So now what we are doing is, whenever we are updating this model, so it touches its parent, and it updates its updated as timestamp. So whenever request comes, so it checks if this cache key is present in the cache or not, and then it will check it is not present, so it will move forward, and then it will re-render the things. So if I refresh, as you see, it is changed to h1, and to prove that, I can inspect the element, and this is h1. But now you think that like you will think that what happened to it is changed. It is not changed. and this is the bigger benefit we get from the Russian doll caching. So I had told you previously, so whenever we are updating a single part or single fragment of the view, only that is updated. So all the other parts will not been updated. So uh, that is the plus point of it. And yes, so I think that is the main bulk of Russian doll caching. So this is how you can cache the things dynamically, but still I covered it for the model only, right? So what if I have a cache, and what if I don't have anything? I have only pagination. So at that time, what I can do? So I felt that right now we are in the era where GitHub uses the server-side partials, right? So if I go to GitHub and my profile, so if I hover it, right? If I hover it, okay, I need to go to some repository maybe. Okay, uh, I'll go to stash view, and if I hover it, as you see, it sends the request. If I tab it, it sends the request, and we get in the response the HTML instead of JSON. So I think this will really benefit to this approach, and I felt that will be really helpful in many of the projects. So what I did is I have created one composer package which we can use it for in the Laravel. So it has support to Laravel 8 as well, and it solves the n+1 problem. Here is the example how the Russian doll caching works. Here is the instructions how you can use it, what cache drivers you can use, how you can use it. Here I have added some functionalities like how we can use the custom keys instead of just delegating it to the model. And then for the tags, let's suppose if I'm pushing this application to the production, so so the production application will not render anything because it already has the cache, right? So the models are not changed, so the views will be same. So at that moment you need to create you need to simply flush the cache, excuse me, flush the cache. So running the command like php artisan cache clear would be disaster in the production app. So what I did here is I have simply added some tags. So the tags will be views. So we can simply flush all the views cache. So we are not flushing all the different caches. So that way we will only flush these caches. So this is the example for the model. Here is the trait we can use. This is the key we can use. How the touching works, which I showed you just now. And for the collection, I have one idea in my mind how I can use it, but I'm simply hoping that someone will give me the PR, and then yeah. So I would really appreciate if someone gives the PR. And these are the frequently asked questions, and I think that is pretty much it. Maybe I will share this link later in the description chat, or the chat box or description. So I think this is it, and this is the Russian doll caching in a nutshell. I think Jigar can start here. Hello.
Hey, Bhushan.
Yeah, yeah.
This was a great session. Thanks a lot. I have learned a lot today. Thanks a lot.
Hmm.
Give me that link. I will share it with everyone right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So I will
GitHub,
share it.
GitHub, Bhushan statue. Yeah. Let me do that right now.
Okay.
It shouldn't take time, so it's a good package. And yeah, I will try to give a PR, maybe with
Yeah.
regards to that collection, or I have something else in mind. Maybe
Okay.
we should have our own this Russian doll cache CLI, like PHP artisan Russian doll cache, and something like particular model, specific
Yeah,
model,
yeah,
model cache clear or something, view cache clear, something very specific to your package, what your package is creating, maybe list keys or something like that. I
yeah, 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 yeah.
I think,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah,
Maybe
I think,
maybe there is one idea in my mind that how much queries, SQL queries we saved by using this package. This will be really helpful. Maybe.
yeah. So
And
I think,
also one thing I want to show, if you you could give me 1 minute time.
yeah, go ahead, yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah. So this pattern is really famous in the Rails world. So in the Rails, what they do is they cache simply the HTML. So let's imagine. I'll go to the notes that is much smaller. So let's imagine we have MD5 function, for example, and we are caching. We are just simply passing this HTML, and this will create some kind of unique hash, and they are using these kind of hashes. So they don't need to create any unique key, because that template itself will be unique key, right? So whenever I change h1 to li, so that key will be changed, and it will work automatically. So
Okay.
this is what they do in Rails. But I feel means like I was tinkering it, and I feel that with Laravel and PHP, it's quite difficult for me right now. So yeah, so I couldn't get the point, like how I can do the same kind of functionality, how I can do the same thing in Laravel and PHP.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Great. Great. Yeah, actually, it's okay. There are many. The Laravel community is good. Maybe someone from Mumbai community can
yeah,
help
yeah,
achieve this. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Thanks for sharing whatever you have learned till now. And this is what this community is about. Share what you have learned, and people will get together and solve much bigger problem. Yeah. Thanks.
yeah,
Yeah. And thanks for this package also. That what you have done already, people won't have to do the same thing. Yeah. They won't have to
yeah,
repeat.
yeah. And it already has the means like it is developed in a TDD way, so it has test, it has all the structures properly. So yeah, so it's a good package.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So we have some few questions. I
Okay.
think, yeah. First, we'll take some questions, few questions, and then, yeah. This is the question from me actually.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is what is the refresh interval of a cache? Meaning, you said there will be a cache where it 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 gets we can clear the view cache completely, but is the interval necessary in this case?
No, actually. So this is the bigger benefit of using the Russian caching.
I
So
just want
let
to I
yeah.
just
So
want sorry, yeah. So this question was before that, before the things that you explained, that touches wala piece. This question was before that.
okay,
So yeah,
okay. Yeah,
now
yeah,
that now I understood. Yeah, that
yeah.
touches thing, it won't be necessary to have a refresh interval, because whenever we are updating a model,
Yeah.
it will automatically touch the
Automatically
parent
do it.
model, and
Yeah,
the cache will get refreshed automatically. Yeah. So
yeah,
this question is invalid. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Next question is, I like the idea of caching entire view, but why doesn't Blade support this out of the box? Is there any reason? This is by Pushpak. Thanks, Pushpak.
Okay, so I got this idea. Actually, there's Jeffrey Way told about this in some conference about the Russian caching, I believe. And Yeah, so I think the Laravel framework is more focused for the people who want to do the work, who want to simplify things. And I think not everyone will use Laravel for this purpose. So let's suppose if you have only backend in the Laravel, and then you have the front end written in Vue, so at that time it will not be helpful. But if you are using a live wire with the live Laravel, or you are simply using the Laravel application, so at that time this will be a great help. Yeah,
Yeah. Yep. Okay. This makes sense. I hope
yeah.
that answers your question, Pushpak. Uh, we can move on to next question, Manish.
Okay.
The same question again. Same person has asked a question. Pushpak here is
Mhm.
asking, can we store this cache in Redis?
Yes, yes. So actually in the package I recommend Redis only. So if I show you the cache implementation, where is that? Okay, so I recommend the Redis only. So actually, in this package, we are using tags, right? So the tags the tags is only supported by the Memcached and Redis, and by default, right now Laravel has array driver, so that also support the tagging. But by default, whenever we install the Laravel, it will use the file cache, and file cache doesn't support the tagging, so it will not work. To use this tags functionality, we need Redis Memcache, uh, and array doesn't make sense. So Redis or Memcached.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
so I just quickly checked what's the default cache driver. I believe it's database, right? Database is
Uh,
the default cache driver or array. I'm not sure.
no, no. So file will be the default cache driver. Actually, if I show you, I have created. It's like when I scaffolded this Laravel application in the
Okay.
cache driver, it is by default file, and I can use array. But if I use array, so all this caching and all these things will not work because we are not caching. It will be in PHP memory, and whenever the request ends, it will be lost. It will be garbage collected.
Okay, yeah, yeah, understood.
Yeah,
So it's no longer a caching. It's good
yeah,
for
yeah.
testing purpose, not for but not for
Yes, yes,
uh,
yes. And for the exact same thing. So whenever I'm let's suppose I'm a developer and I'm developing this thing, and I changed this card, right? This card or maybe note to li to h1. So right now I'm developing, right? So it should out of the box work. But if I refresh, then it will not work, and then I will go and I will simply clear the cache and all these things. So this is not helpful for the development. So what I created here is I have created one middleware, and it will simply set the if we are if our environment is local, then it will set our cache driver to array only. So that
okay.
way, that way we whenever we change things here, so it will reflect automatically.
That's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
one more thing. I correct me if I'm wrong. If we are using anything apart from Redis or Memcache,
Mhm.
it is no longer useful because a database query will be much more heavier than loading just a simple view. Correct.
Yes, yes, correct, correct, correct.
So yeah. So yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this
So if yeah,
uh,
yeah, if we are using the database and then a database for caching, at that time it won't be really helpful because uh, querying the database itself is a really big load on the machine
yeah.
on the application. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Uh, I think we are done with the questions, I believe.
Okay.
Let me just go through it once again. No, we don't have questions. So before we ask before we ask this question, uh, giveaway question for a giveaway, I would like to thank Mahesh and Shashank for being here with me to help me with all the backend stuff. Thanks a lot, guys. Yeah. Now we can move to the giveaway question. That
Mhm.
is, Mahesh, are you pasting that question in the comment or should I?
You go over.
Okay, I will paste it here. Yeah. So the question comes on the screen. How many people? Oh, not this one. Okay, not this one. Not this one. Ah, my bad. Huh. What we use to cache HTML. So this is a trick question, and yeah, this is a trick question. So what are we using? What does this package use behind the scene to cache the HTML? Uh, there are two answers to this. Okay, obviously I'm not the winner. There are two answers to this. One is the trick question, actually trick answer. Like it's not the actual answer. Laravel, don't tell me Laravel cache. So obviously we are using Laravel cache, but yeah. what apart from that? Yeah, that's just hint. Uh, I just didn't want to confuse people. So please paste your answer first. First, who tells right is the winner. We'll wait. I can give hints. Please provide option. Okay. Bhushan, think of few. Try to give few hints.
Okay, so maybe the first hint will be we used vanilla PHP there. So we use the function from the PHP itself to cache to get the cache of HTML.
Hmm. I hope that's helpful.
Maybe I can show you the better hint. So this is where we check the condition and we do something here and then we did something here.
Let's wait for response because it takes time to reach to audience. So I
Okay.
think yeah, that's fine. So hints would be four hints would be. Hmm, let's try to give A, B, C, D option. Do we have time? Yes. Oh no, we only have 2 minutes here. That's all right. We can extend for 5 more minutes or something.
Okay.
Cache directive. Cache directive.
Okay. So maybe the first option will be blade directive, and then the second option will be cache facade. The third option will be output buffering, and I think three options are good.
Yeah, three
I
options.
can't. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. So I think one of your option is already said by uh, Ashwini. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, Pushpak is very close actually here. Pushpak, and he has mentioned the exact function name. So
Yeah.
OB underscore start. Now we want to know what output
Yeah.
and buffering. Yeah, output and
Yeah.
buffering, output and buffering and Pushpak. So yeah, so we'll I think Ashwini is close and Pushpak has mentioned exact this and
Function.
both are on exact function. Both are on the same minutes. So 4 minutes, 4 hour 58. Both have replied on the same time. So the correct answer is output buffer. So
Buffer.
yeah, thanks for this interactive session, Ashwini, Pushpak, and everyone who is here. Thanks for this. Uh, so yeah, we'll, we'll decide. We only have one giveaway now.
Yeah.
It's difficult for us now. I think who should we give exactly on the same time? 4 minutes, yeah, 4 hours 58 minutes now. How to decide on that?
maybe
Okay,
we
we
can ask. Maybe we can ask Sarthak
yeah,
about this. Yeah.
Sarthak about this. Yeah, give us two. Give us two. Yeah, let's take it offline. Let's take it offline. We'll get in touch with one of you guys. But thanks a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
we will get in touch with one of you guys to at least give. We'll definitely give away one Laravel, and we'll also speak with Sarthak about this. And let's hope that he also gives away the second license. Thanks a lot, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else, Bhushan? Yeah, that you would like to
Uh, yeah.
talk
Yeah. So
about?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this I think most of the I want to talk one thing here. So we have a COVID scenario, right? So people think that we don't have jobs and we don't have. It's like they are devastated by the conditions, and I think there are many of the remote jobs available out there. So if person is not having a job, or maybe if person is not having any better opportunities, so I think in the COVID situation we have a lot more remote opportunities, so we can reach actually whenever, let's suppose if I'm working for a company, I have to go there and I have to work there, right? But right now what I can do is I can handle the clients from the other end of the world, right? So there are a lot of opportunities. So I think uh, by this stage, I want to represent, I want to say all the people that try to get the remote work. And yeah, so it's like there are many of the opportunities, just grab it. So I saw link on LinkedIn many times that someone is saying that I lost the job, I did something, I don't have it, like there are many remote jobs available. Please try some more time, means like give your little bit more efforts and you will have it. Yeah.
Yep, thanks for that. Yeah, Bhushan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to also call out that we have a good community here. So we do get like job descriptions, job openings from different CEOs who post the
Mm.
jobs on our via they post it through our to our WhatsApp group. So I am adding our Twitter link here over here, Laravel Mumbai. So DM us your phone numbers, folks. So we will add you to our WhatsApp groups. Okay, and even there we might get few job description if anyone is looking for a job or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, Bhushan. Thanks
Yeah.
everyone for joining. I think that's it for today. See you
Yeah.
next month. See you all next month. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Thanks, Bhushan.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.
Yep. Bye. Bye. Take care. Bye. Take care, everyone.
Bye.